So it's goodbye to Black Ops and hello Lightning. PXG has a brand new driver family that consists of 4 different clubs, each designed to match up with a different player type in the Lightning driver family, new for early 2026. They include the Tour Mid, as well as the Max 10K Plus and the Max Lite. But each one of the 4 Lightning drivers is built off of the same principles and features a lot of the same technologies. So in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the new PXG Lightning family of drivers. Let's get into it. From a construction standpoint, the PXG Lightning drivers have a lot of similarities to previously released PXG drivers. There is a very large carbon fiber crown on the top that saves a considerable amount of weight. It has a glossy black finish to it, which if you live in some place where there's a lot of sun, could cause a little bit of an issue with glare, but I really kind of doubt it. To me, it looks absolutely sensational, very, very clean. There's also a large carbon fiber panel on the bottom. Now, one of the new things that you're going to notice is that there is a seam, or sort of a crease, a rib, if you will, that extends from the front of the club all the way to the back, and that is something that's brand new. That seam is designed to stiffen up the bottom of the club and to basically stiffen up the entire chassis without adding weight. Now, when PXG designers explained that to me, they brought out a blank piece of paper to basically explain how a crease could make something stronger. See, if you've got a regular plain piece of paper here, you can bend it and it sort of, you can sort of see just does exactly what you think it would do. It sort of folds right up onto itself. However, if you take the piece of paper and you simply throw a fold or a crease in it lengthwise and then open it up and then push in, it actually is a little bit stronger. You're creating a little bit more tension across this length here. And effectively, that's what this crease on the bottom of the PXG Lightning drivers is doing. Now, when it comes to the PXG Lightning drivers, the biggest story really isn't the fact that they were able to stiffen up the body of the golf club using that crease in the carbon fiber sole, but how it sort of plays in and relates to what they did with the face. You see, on the outside, it looks just like a normal driver face. Yes, there's some laser etching here to help you create a little bit more contrast and line up the driver a little bit more easily. But PXG designers and engineers really studied the moment of impact and really studied how the waves and the energy flowed from the face and when the energy sort of was transferred into the head and how it came out into basically was redirected into the shot. And what they discovered is that if they could get the face to sort of bend and flex in the same timing as the way that the golf ball was going to be flexing at the moment of impact and get those two things to sort of work in harmony or sync up, they could transfer energy created from the head into the ball more effectively and therefore create more ball speed and more distance. The company is calling it frequency tuning, and basically all you really need to know is that at the moment of impact, the waves and the energy that would normally flow into the head of the golf club, the PXG Lightning drivers, has been sort of synced up with the golf ball so that more of the energy is not lost to the deformation of the head, again, going back to that strengthening on the sole. It's actually then redirected better into the golf ball. So you're going to get more ball speed and more distance according to PXG because they've tuned up the face and tuned up the body. So as I said at the beginning of the video, there are 4 different versions of the Lightning driver. The first one I'm going to tell you about is the Tour. And as you would suspect, that is going to be the lowest spinning and the lowest launching of the 4 different drivers. It has 3 weight ports that are designed into the sole, and it comes standard with a 7.5 gram weight as well as 2 2.5 gram weights. And you can move those weights in any configuration you like. And they are sort of in this sort of triangular positioning, one in the toe, one in the heel, and one in the back position. Obviously, that allows players and fitters to create either a draw bias, a fade bias, or put the heavier weight in the back to slightly increase spin or to increase the launch angle. But make no mistake about it, the Tour head is going to be very, very low spin, low launch. The next driver is going to be the Tour Mid. And this is actually one of the more interesting drivers I think that's out there because many companies offer a Tour model, which is a really low spin, low launch, and then they offer a super stable edition. We're going to get to that in a second. But right in the middle, right between those 2 types of drivers, a lot of players will benefit from slightly lower spin, but still getting some assistance as far as stability and higher MOI. And that's where the Tour Mid from PXG, the Lightning Tour Mid, really falls into it. As you can see from this Tour Mid that I've got in my hands here, again, you've got 3 different weight ports right here, but the weights themselves are going to be a little different than what we saw in the Tour. With the Tour Mid, you've got a 15 gram weight as well as 2 of the 2.5 gram weight. So you're going to have a slightly lower center of gravity location just because you're pulling with that 15-gram weight, more weight to the bottom. But you're also going to be able to shift the center of gravity location more easily by moving that 15-gram either towards the heel for a draw, towards the toe if you're looking for a fade. And when you put that 15-gram weight in the back, obviously you're going to create more spin, higher launch, increase the MOI, all the boost and stability. You kind of know the story. Now the third driver is going to be the Lightning Max 10K Plus, and that's going to be the highest MOI offering in the Lightning family. Like the Tour Mid, it's going to have a 15-gram weight as well as two 2.5-gram weights, but this driver is going to be set up to be the most stable, most forgiving driver in the lineup. It has like a total combined MOI that's going to be over 10,000 when you add up the side to side, the heel toe stability, as well as the up and down from the crown to the sole. You combine those two MOI numbers and they exceed 10,000. So if you're somebody who's looking for really straight, really forgiving, the Max 10K Plus in the Lightning family is going to probably be the one that you're going to want to try. And finally, for golfers who struggle to generate club head speed, there is the Lightning Max Lite. Now this one only has one weight. It's going to be in the back, and it's going to be 12.5 grams. But the overall weight of this driver is going to be about 14 grams lighter than the other drivers in the Lightning family. And it also comes with a lighter shaft standard as well as a lighter grip. So all of that combined should help moderate and slower club head speed players swing the club faster and generate more club head speed and therefore more ball speed. So I had an opportunity, as I said before, to go out to Scottsdale, Arizona and talk with the team from PXG, as well as go through a driver fitting for a new Lightning driver. And I found the whole experience to be really interesting. First and foremost, I think the Lightning drivers look absolutely fantastic. When you set this club down behind the golf ball, I love a glossy black crown. And while there is a little bit of a faint carbon fiber pattern that you're going to see on the top of the golf club, to me that pattern is really tight, and this driver is really easy to line up. They just look aesthetically really confidence inspiring. I love the look of these drivers. Number two, the sound of the driver. When you go ahead and make your swing and make good contact, it has that just right sort of crunch sound to it. Maybe it was something about the thin Scottsdale air out there, but I found that getting the ball up in the air and really getting it moving was a cinch. So PXG had made a Black Ops driver available to me in the past. I was able to bring it along with me when I went for my Lightning fitting. And I can tell you that with my club head speed being around 100 to 102, I was still able to get more ball speed with the Lightning driver, the Tour Mid, which is the one that really sort of fit me the best. I was able to get about 1.5 miles to 2 miles an hour more ball speed with the Lightning than I was with Black Ops. And that translated to being about 5 to 7 yards longer with Lightning than I was Black Ops. For me, the Tour model just simply didn't create enough spin and lift. I was hitting a lot of these low bullets, so that wasn't a proper fit. And when I went into the 10K Max, while I was definitely straighter than I was with the Tour Mid, I was creating much too much spin, probably around 3,500 to 3,800 RPM on average of spin. And that's just gonna be robbing me of a little bit more distance than I was willing to give up. So the Tour Mid actually was the perfect combination of those two. I do think it's gonna be absolutely critical that you remain patient as a golfer and go through a proper fitting for a Lightning driver, because again, there are 4 of them and they are designed to have overlapping playing characteristics. There are some people that will be able to make a choice between Tour and Tour Max. Some people maybe be between the Tour Max and the Max 10K, and that's again by design. Now, all that said, PXG is going to be retailing this driver for $649. And so if you're somebody who has a relatively new PXG driver that you were fit for in your bag, $649 is a pretty hefty investment. You're going to definitely want to see those TrackMan numbers. You're definitely going to want to get out there and see what the launch monitor says. And if you are going to be picking up club head speed for that investment, again, $649 for one of the Lightning drivers, you want to make sure that you're getting the performance benefit for the money that you're going to be putting out. That said, if you're somebody who has need of a new driver in 2026 and you haven't replaced your driver in, say, the last 4 or 5 years, maybe since the COVID pandemic, and you're looking at the Lightning driver, I think you're going to be really pleased with the ball speed numbers that you're going to get, as well as the sound and the feel. And I think with the number of drivers that you're going to have and the fitting options that you're going to be able to have at your disposal, those should be something that's going to give you a really good option. Okay, so that's just about everything I think you probably need to know about the PXG Lightning drivers. But if there's some questions that we can answer for you, please feel free to drop them in the comment area below. I do try and monitor the comment section and answer questions from viewers just like yourself. My article that appears in Golf Week magazine is also right down in the comment area below, so you can click on that and get some more details about the new PXG Lightning drivers. If you found this video to be informative, if you liked what you saw, it would also really help us out a lot if you would smash that like button as well as subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon.